Good question. Me personally, when I came in, the Canadian government was just starting to use social media. And nobody really knew what they were doing, so I kind of had to self-teach and learn with the social media stuff. And social media is, it's difficult, particularly, you know, on political stuff. I think that generally speaking, governments are terrible. It's particularly the Canadian government is awful with communications, with using media, with how to use it. And that stems from the fact that they function and work in a culture that's completely divorced from the real world. You know, kind of like, you know, cause and effect, action accountability. But I think that right now, at this point in time, what we're seeing, and we've certainly seen, is an erosion of the importance of conventional media, right? And a rise of the influence of social media. And the truth is, nobody really understands how to use media and when to use them. I mean, Donald Trump certainly utilizes social media effectively, whether, you know, because effectively in the sense that he gets responses. Whether it's effective for a president to operate in that way, I don't know. I don't think we understand media anymore. And, you know, in 10 years we'll understand kind of where we're at now, but it'll be further evolving. Social media turned everybody into a pundit and an expert. Right? So, you know, we used to understand how opinions were controlled 10, 15 years ago. General public opinion was controlled because, you know, this TV station had this share of the market and this one had that share, and same with newspapers, and so it was much easier. Policymakers understood that. Pollsters understood that. Pollsters are calling almost every election wrong. And the reason they're calling almost every election wrong is because they don't understand who's influencing who and how. And social media really diffuses all of this. I'll tell you an interesting story about the Israeli election. The last Israeli election, when everybody was writing Bibi's obituary politically, which I did not see coming. I did not think he was going down the way they did. And they were also writing Lieberman's obituary. No way, he's not, you know, he's not even going to get the 4-seat threshold, and he's done. Well, Lieberman, you know, cats have 9 lives, Lieberman has 29. So Lieberman, of course, comes out with, what was it, 6 or 7 seats, something like that. Now he's Minister of Defense, he's got like one of the best portfolios. And, you know, the pundits were scratching, how did this happen? How did Lieberman end up with 6? Well, guess what? And it's just great. I found this out just talking to somebody, a friend of mine who's a pollster. So the pollsters, you know, 20 years ago used to make their calls in Russian. They had a Russian, you know, Russian capability. And then somebody somewhere decided, we're not going to do it in Russian anymore. They've been here long enough. They all speak Hebrew. We're just going to do the polling in Hebrew. So guess what? And I said to my friend, the pollster, I said, you know what? I can do it in Hebrew. But if you called me at dinner time, which is when you call, and I've got my kids who just came home from school, and I got to make dinner, and, you know, blah, 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 and you start speaking to me in Hebrew, bye. Right? Like, I don't, because it's just too difficult for me. They missed a whole demographic. So I don't think there is really, honestly, an answer about the effect of the media and how to work the media, because we don't even understand which media is reaching which people. And, you know, just in business now, because it's relevant. I was looking at a particular issue, and we want to convey a particular message. And it is the one instance I was actually delighted to see. You know, I said to my colleagues, you know what, for this we need, you know, journalist X at this paper. And they said, but nobody reads it. I said, no, but there are 3 people in Ottawa who do. And those are the 3 people I want to influence. So when you're really looking, you know, at influencing policy at a certain level, you have to know which papers they read, your government too. You know, the governments still get paper clippings in the morning. You know, those clipping, they still do that. It's unbelievable. So you want to be in the clipping file.